Hello, I'm Kathy Bissell. Welcome to the Golf Show 2.0 A-Man Corner with Gary Van Sickle. Gary, the PGA has started. People who talk about this kind of thing say that Quail Hollow identifies the best player. That sounds a lot like a U.S. Open, but what do you think?
By the way, A-Man stands for Answer Man.
Oh,
So I came up with A-Man Corner, just inviting a lawsuit from Augusta National. So bring it on, fellas and ladies. Every tournament that wants to be a major championship venue should have quality winners, and not all of them are super high quality, but they were all the best in the world that week at Quail Hollow. So you can't take anything away from them. But Quail Hollow did give us Sean O'Hare and Derek Ernst. But we've also had Tiger, Rory 4 times, Ricky Fowler, Lucas Glover, major champions, David Toms.
Yes.
And assorted others. So
Brian Harman, you mentioned.
Brian Harman's a major champion. I don't think their track record at Quail Hollow is 100%, but nobody is. I mean, you want to look at some unusual winners for a great tournament. Look at the Memorial Tournament. There's been some oddballs in there, starting with David Lingmerth and David Edwards and several others. So everybody, all these guys on tour are so good. They can all have a week where they just catch it and their swing is on and they make putts. So I wouldn't throw that. I'd say it's a cliche to say it. To say what they're going to say on TV, but the fact is, Quail Hollow's got a pretty good track record at identifying really good players.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to argue with that, but just for those people who don't know.
Well, that's odd because you usually like to argue most things. So I guess that's one down. One time.
What's the most important hole to watch at Quail Hollow?
The Answer Man thinks I'm going to start talking about myself in the third person. That sounds pretty cool.
No. You're not.
The Answer Man says it's the 18th hole because the Answer Man remembers when David Toms made a 9 on that hole on Sunday and still won the tournament.
He was everywhere, wasn't he? He was like near the
there's
water.
So much. Yeah, he hit it in the trees and he hit it out. Then he hit it into the water. The creek's on the left side through the fairways and the trees. The creek goes all the way up the left side. It's uphill. It's almost 500 yards. You can still blow it into the creek if you're left at all with your approach. So we know that 9 is possible even for a guy in contention. So it's an easy double bogey, I think, for almost anybody. And the green is big. Even if you miss the green in somewhere dry and hit a mediocre chip, this is how I make a lot of my double bogeys. You miss green, bad chip, 3 putts. Double, you didn't even know it hit you.
Could a club pro win at Quail Hollow? Could a club pro?
Oh, sure. Michael Block's probably locked him in this thing now that he's back. I don't see anybody beating him.
I don't know if the club pros will beat him, but I don't know if he's going to beat Bryson DeChambeau and Rory McIlroy.
Last time he played with Rory, he threw a hole-in-one at him. Michael Block's the man.
Are there any bunkers on the 18th?
Oh no, a club pro's not going to win. No, I'm sorry. There's some guys that are pretty good players, but
people ask.
They don't get to play courses set up like major championships, and really, there's no way to prepare for that except playing them. And none of them, they don't get. Even the best club pros only get a handful of chances to play in this. So,
right,
they are unprepared for what's coming at them through no fault of their own.
And explain a little bit about the differences. It's not just the length.
It's the length. It's the green speed. When you go play in a section event, PGA section event, and whatever section of the country in, their goal is to make their section pros look good. So they're not going to set it up at 7,000 yards. The greens aren't going to be running at 15, and they're not going to be 4 inches of rough. Because if a club tried to grow 4 inches of rough, the members would run a couple of people out of town.
Yeah.
So, and there's nowhere you can go that does unless you happen to be a member at Oakmont, where this is what they do every day of the year.
And those are people who join Oakmont because they relish playing out of 4-inch rough and
They
games.
want to brag about how bad they got their butt kicked. And many of them also have a membership at another club somewhere in town
That's
that's
playable.
fun to play. And they're a member at Oakmont for the prestige. And when their friends come to town, they take them out for the Oakmont experience, which can be replicated by going behind an alley and bludgeoning someone.
Well, you've played Oakmont. Is that what it's like? Is that what it's going to be like? Yes.
It's hard. It's been a few years. The last time I played it, I actually played with Carol Semple Thompson. It was on a media day, and we actually had such a good time. Two guys we played with quit after 9. They weren't very good golfers. They were TV people. They had deadlines. They had to leave. And we played the second 9, and we got by okay. But really, at Oakmont, the rough is so deep, you literally have to have a caddy with you because only they're going to know where to look. You're playing a course, you just don't have the
local
familiarity to. Let's say in the old days, maybe I've carried it 250 yards from the tee, 250 yards. You don't know with just a bunch of rough, you don't know within 15 yards either way where the ball landed. So you got a 30-yard window to look with rough this deep.
Yeah.
You're not going to find it. So maybe your caddy went down ahead to 4 caddy, or he's just so used to knowing where to look that he can find it that way. But yeah, it's hard all the time. And they brag about they have to soften it up for the US Open. It's a little bit of an exaggeration, but it's not much of one. So
that's where Phil Mickelson hurt his wrist. Was it before the 2007 US Open?
Yeah, and he blamed the USGA because he went out and practiced in it too much. But
yeah, well, nevertheless.
Well, he was wrong about blaming the USGA, but he wasn't wrong that the rough was dangerous to hit a lot of shots out of, and he proved it. But not everybody who wants to keep their course that way. Not many places.
No, thank God. People would have given up. Is it true that only long hitters have a chance at Quail Hollow?
A lot of people would have given up waiting for that question.
You're not a lot of people, though.
I'm not a lot of people. Look, the past winners include Max Homa and Brian Harmon, who are not long hitters. However, this week, of course, is sopping wet. It's hard to imagine that the winner's not going to be a long hitter. It's just hard to imagine. It just got the rain makes it 15% longer. I'm just making up a number. If I want to be impressive, I want to go for the hype. I could say it's 70% longer, but it's all carry. So the guys who hit it highest and longest, Rory McIlroy, Bryson DeChambeau, Scottie Scheffler, Wyndham Clark, Justin Thomas, Ludwig Oberg.
They're going to be helped because they can hit it high and soft and land it on the green.
Well, everything's going to land soft, so you're not going to get any roll. So whoever carries it the farthest is going to have a big distance advantage over. Let's say Lee Trevino was still playing and he's hitting it 270-yard carry rope hook, and instead of running out 70 yards, his would stop in 10 yards, and he's going to be 40 yards behind. I mean, obviously Lee Trevino's not playing; he's 85, but it's a distance game, no question about it. And by the weekend, you're gonna see that on the leaderboard, no question about it.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what Bryson and Brooks Koepka. Notice Bryson's a one-word guy now. He's not a 2-word first name and last name. He's just Bryson.
I just call him Bry.
Bry, okay.
We're on a one-syllable basis. He calls the answer man, just calls me A man, A. I'm A, he's Bry. Here at A Man Corner, we can pretend these things are true.
We've decided that the Tiger Phil era is come and gone. It's over.
What?
The Tiger.
No.
Yes, it is. Wave goodbye.
Well, at least Phil's playing.
That's true. And we haven't seen him play unless you've been watching the Live Golf, and no one has. So, but is this a new age with Rory, Scottie, JT, X-Man, Wyndham, Hotel Man, Clark, and Ludwig Oberg? One of my favorites because he lives here in Connecticut.
The golden age thing is kind of like the same premise of when is the golf season over in Pittsburgh here where the answer man lives. You never know it's over until 2 weeks later after it's over.
When you think
because the golf season ends and maybe it gets cold and you're like, well, if it just warms out or rains a bunch, if it just get a couple days where it warms up and dries out, we can still play. And you wait and maybe you have one day. It's like, well, we had 2 more days like today we could play. And then boom, a front comes in and it's 19 degrees and you go, yeah, I guess the season was over 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So the golden age, we should be grateful that we saw Rory win the Grand Slam.
Yes.
We got Spieth on the cusp, as he has been for a while, but
cusp man.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of guys who have piled up a lot of majors besides Koepka, but we've got Bryson, who looks like, honestly, he could pile up a few more. I mean, I think a lot more. Justin Thomas has had second wind here with his putter.
Yeah.
And Oberg's just getting started. And then we still got John Rahm out there in the
Netherlands.
He'll get his game back and win a few more majors. So that's a lot of big names or great players. I mean, that's like 3 more great players than you normally have at any one time. Correct. And by great players, I mean guys who have set themselves apart
from the rest of the field.
Above the standard from, there's a lot of good players, but there's guys who are just a cut above, and Rahm and Koepka and these guys are clearly are. So you can make that argument. It's a little early, but by the time we figure it out, it is.
It's like
it'll already be 2/3 of the way over. We forgot Xander Schauffele. I don't know if he qualifies, but gosh, he could win.
He could win.
He's halfway to the Grand Slam, so he's not to be discounted either.
He's not, and he has a nice game for a U.S. Open because he's not wild, and he's a good enough putter. And he has.
Answer Man has a question: who's going to be the next player to complete the career Grand Slam? Kathy Bissell.
I would think it might be Xander. As long as he's healed up, he could do it. He's very determined, and he's not showy, but he gets it done. And he's done that since his first year on tour. His first year on tour, he won the Tour Championship, but everybody was so enamored with Justin Thomas winning the FedEx Cup that Xander got ignored, which I kind of felt badly about because East Lake Golf Club is no, easy track. I mean, that's where Bobby Jones learned to play. So
Who?
One of those other.
Another question from the Answer Man. Bobby who?
I think even people who are casual fans of the sport have heard of Bobby Jones, but I may be crazy.
Well, he makes a mean golf shirt, so he must have been a good player.
Well,
it could be. Look, we're lucky to have seen one person in the last 25 years since Tiger do it, and that's Rory. To think we're going to see another one, history says it's probably another 25 years. So I
don't know. I think these guys are good enough that they can get it done. And I think their determination is, what do they call it? Second to none.
Well, it might, if it truly is a golden age, it's that much harder to win a Grand Slam because you've got 5 or 6. How many did we name? 5 or 6 other guys that you now have to beat every major. And there's not enough majors to go around for all these guys. So
there's not Hogan, Nelson, and Snead.
Yeah, Brooks Koepka has made the most of his chances to win majors, and he's won 5.
Yes.
He hasn't let many slip through his fingers. I'm not sure if he let the 2019 Masters slip away, but he was there.
He was close. He was insignificant.
it's hard. John Rahm, I mean, you got to win two more. Most of these guys got to win 2 more majors. Like, that's a big ask. When you've got to beat, now you got to beat Rory and Scottie Scheffler and Bryson.
Well, how about Scottie? All he needs is he needs 3 more. But
yeah, he's not even close.
I don't think anybody would say he can't do it.
Well, of course not.
He has the game and he has the skill set.
I'm a little worried about his prison record, but I think other than that.
Did you see the thing? There was a story today about the ESPN
you mean yesterday?
Reporter, yesterday, today, whatever day it was, who had written the story and had all the video on his phone from the whole incident.
He went to the University of Texas, whose school color is burnt orange. So, duh. Talk about media trying to make something out of nothing. I thought that was classic lame media.
I didn't see that part, but that was definitely lame media hype.
Unless of course he did. But I would say orange is probably one of Scottie's favorite colors because of where he went to school. I would give him a pass on that. But why would he want to remind anybody about that?
Scottie?
He wouldn't.
No, he wouldn't.
No, that was media guys sitting at home, coming up with something to write, some clickbait for the internet to fulfill their editors' fierce demands before they're whipped and beaten and sent back to the dungeon.
Oh, I thought they were back in the dark alley with the guy from earlier.
No, that's only if they were playing Oakmont.
Okay. Okay, I think we've done enough damage for today. So
no, I think we should do some more.
You do? Well, I think we should end
I'm going to poke myself in the eye with this pen. Watch this.
And
no, we're done. I think that's a good time to go.